All right, so today I want to show you guys how to create a killer gent guitar tone using universal audio plugins, universal audio interface, and an appropriate guitar for the job. So I'm actually using a Schecter guitar. It's the Blackjack ATX Solo 6. This particular model is not being produced anymore. It was actually a limited edition. I got it a couple of years back and absolutely love this guitar. Personally, the only thing I don't like is the fact that it uses active pickups. It's got two Seymour Duncan blackouts, in the neck and in the bridge. So personally, I would prefer a passive guitar pickup for gent. That's usually what most of these guitarists are using as passive pickups. So I just wanted to make a note of that, but it's actually not a deal breaker or anything. You could still use active pickups, but the traditional way, if there is a traditional approach to gent, is passive pickups. So the first thing you're going to need is something to replicate a tube screamer. And by the way, you don't need to use UAD plugins to make this happen. You could use anything that is the equivalent. I'm just using universal audio because one, for the unison preamps, and two, because it's happening in real time and it's analog modeling technology. So these plugins are top notch and it's basically like playing through the real thing. So back in the day, I had an Ibanez tube screamer, but now we got they actually do have a tube screamer emulation, but I don't have access to this one right now. I just purchased the TS Overdrive, which is essentially the exact same thing. And yeah, this is part of the Distortion Essentials bundle, just in case you guys are wondering, looking to, replicate this setup. That's where you would get this pedal, including two other ones, which is a fuzz and an actual distortion. This is the Overdrive pedal. So the first thing, and this is like I used to set it back in the day when I had the real tube screamer, is you take the tone, bring it up to the max. This is the volume, the level, bring it up to the max. Drive, this might sound counterintuitive, bring it down to 0. So that, and also I'm going to bring my unison enabled preamp to the max. So this is what it sounds like right now. Doesn't sound that great yet. Don't worry about it. That's exactly what we're looking for. This is the foundation of any, not overly digitized the gent guitar tone, like just the real one, the really good ones, the ones that you on those albums that you really like. This is how they're doing it. So the next thing is going to be an amp. So we're going to put this, and the reason we're putting the level up is, if you haven't watched my video on gain staging, you're definitely going to want to check that out. But basically what we're doing, and this is the reason that gent sounds the way that it does, and that it feels the way that it does in your guitar. If you don't do this right, it won't feel right. So by bringing the level up that high, what you're doing is you're going to be hitting the amplifier's input really hard, and that's going to actually end up clipping some of your signal. And what that's going to do actually is it's kind of like a form of compression. It's like you're pushing the signal up so much that not only are you getting like a really powerful, clean guitar signal, but it's like compressing it. So like basically you're not gonna have to play really hard. Like it's gonna feel like almost like a synth, and that's what gent is. It's like it really feels like the guitar, it almost plays itself, and it's difficult to make it sound bad because of that. Like it's not super difficult to sound bad, but I mean, it's like when you use a compressor, it makes your guitar feel more responsive, it's easier to play, and that's why we're doing this with the tube screamer. And it's also going to allow us to get a cleaner sound because we're going to be able to actually bring the gain down on the amp. We're not going to use a high gain preset. So you guys might be thinking, if we go into amps, I have like an ENGL Savage. We're not going to use the NGL Savage. Although you could just, if you were going to use a lower gain preset, just bring the gain down. But I'm actually going to use an amp because I like to have character in my gent tones, okay? So it has to have like a sound. Like I don't like it when it just sounds like it's just like a digitized, like really like characterless tone, and this is just my personal preference because the sky's the limit with gent guitar tones. Like I'm not even joking, guys. Like this is actually this is really fun to play with. So I recommend just using an amp that you would never expect to play djent on. Like just any, like it could be like a clean guitar amp, it could be like a Fender. Like honestly, just do it with a Fender. You're gonna see what it sounds like. But basically, I like my Friedman BE100, and let's go with this preset, Clean Funky Tele. I think this one I like. But we could try all of them. All of them are gonna sound pretty good. The ones that are not gonna sound good are the ones that are high gain. And if you like those, just bring the gain down. But I mean, let's try and work with something that's already there just to get an idea. So another important thing is I don't like noise gates, you know? So that's it. That's what it sounds like. So there you go. You essentially have a djent guitar tone. It's already there. So listen to this. Djent guitar tone right there. So that's, you know what? Let's turn off the Tube Screamer and see what it sounds like without it. Just to give you guys an idea, and let me just turn this off. That's what you want your amp to sound like. Like seriously, like you get like an amp that just has this kind of a sound, and this is what it's gonna sound like. But when you add in your Tube Screamer, what did I do? There we go. So yeah, I haven't played metal or djent in a really long time, guys. Like I'm just, I just thought about it today. You know, like I said, you know, I have all the tools to make it, so why not share my recipe with you guys? Because one of the main things is I don't want this tradition to be lost. Like, you know, when we forget all about djent, which may or may not happen, I just want at least one video on YouTube that just kind of shows you how to do it the right way. So, you know, you guys could stop the video right now if you got what you needed, but I'm just gonna show you guys what it sounds like to do a few different presets, because why not? You know, we're here and we're experimenting, and just to show you guys the possibilities. Like this is one sound. I also where is it? It's this one. It's gonna sound different. Look. See, it has a bit more of a drier sound, this one. It has a little bit more percussiveness to it, and you can really get, like, you know, like, that's this real secret to djent, is getting like a really nice, like, clean or crunchy guitar tone that has like a lot of character on its own, and you're just wondering, like, what would this sound like if I just boosted my guitar's input? Because that's basically what we're using the Tube Screamer for. It's like a boost pedal, so we're really cranking up that gain, so it just hits the input harder, so you can actually turn down the gain on the amp, which would actually be the output gain, or like you know, maybe not the output gain, but the gain that goes into the power amp, and you know, all that complicated engineering stuff. I don't want to get too scientific with you guys, because even I need to brush up on this stuff, but you get the point. Like, it's just gonna be hitting the amp super hard, and it's just gonna, you basically have like a djent version of whatever amp sound that you're already working with. And it's just curiosity, man. Like, just like go out there and try different stuff. Like, see, these humbucker rocks are gonna sound really bad. I might as well show you one that sounds bad. See, it's too much gain. It's too much gain. Something like that. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I could honestly just keep playing sounds, you know, all day long. But now it's your turn to go out there and to basically experiment and to develop your own guitar tones. But what I like about this recipe is it's just such a basic recipe, but there are so many different possibilities that you can get out of it. So I'd be more than curious to find out what you guys come up with. I mean, that's what the comment section is for. Like, let me know what your personal approach is to creating a gent guitar tone, like which amp you're using with it, you know, which plugins, if you have any better alternatives. And even if you have questions, like just leave them down in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. So other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed and hopefully we'll see you in the next one.